Hello everyone. In this video, we'll go over the Vocabulary Workshop Level Blue Unit 13 words. You can follow along at home using your book. Let's get started. Our first word is achievement. Achievement is a noun, and an achievement is something done successfully, something gained by working or trying hard. So when you have a goal and you succeed in that goal after working hard or trying your best, then you can call that an achievement. It's something you can feel proud of because it took a lot of effort and hard work to get. The example says, a perfect report card is quite an achievement. So a perfect report card meaning that you got the highest grades in all of your classes. Doing that is not something easy. It requires a lot of work. So we can call that an achievement. Some other examples could be things like learning how to ride your bike. I can say learning to ride a bike was an important achievement for my little brother. Or let's say that you have a goal of reading a certain amount of books. I can say reading 100 books in 1 year is an impressive achievement. It's not very easy to do that. You have to work hard, so it's an achievement. Another thing that a lot of people consider an achievement would be graduating from school, graduating from high school or from college, for example. So I could say, graduating from college was one of her proudest achievements. Or another example would be something like earning a black belt if you're doing a sport like Taekwondo. I can say earning a black belt was a major achievement after years of practice. So, do you have any achievements that you're proud of? The next word is acquire. Acquire is a verb, and acquire means to get as one's own. And what that means is that you are getting something or gaining something. It can be an object, but it can also be something like a skill or knowledge or even a habit, something that you do over and over. The example says, when did you acquire the ability to speak French so well? So you can think of this word acquire as get, basically. So I can say, when did you get the ability, or when did you acquire the ability to speak French so well? So language is one thing people can acquire. Another example similar to that would be babies acquire language by listening to the people around them. That's how they get language, or that's how they learn language. Some other examples would be she acquired a new bicycle for her birthday. So she got this new bike for her birthday. She acquired it. It is now hers. Or I can say it takes years to acquire strong piano skills. So you don't just get piano skills right away, it takes a long time to acquire those skills. Or I can say reading every day helps you acquire new vocabulary. It helps you get or it helps you learn something. So that is acquire, whenever you get something or learn something. The next word is debate. Debate can be used as a noun, and it is a discussion of reasons for and against something. For example, the town council held a debate on building a new library. So when there's a debate, there might be reasons why something is good. We usually call those pros. And there might be reasons why something is bad, and we usually call those cons. So in this example sentence here, there is a town that is having a debate. So they are talking about building a new library. And since they are debating it, that means they're talking about the good things and the bad things about building that new library. So a debate is just a discussion, so when people are talking, where they share different opinions and explain why they think that they are right. And when we debate, we usually do this because people want to think carefully before they make their decisions. So another way we can use this word is as a verb, and it can also mean to discuss reasons for and against something, to think about carefully before deciding. And I'm going to focus on this second definition here, to think about carefully before deciding something. And for this example, we could do something like, she debated whether to spend her allowance or save it. So when people are thinking carefully about what they want to do, we can also use this word debate as a verb. That doesn't mean that she is talking with someone about it, but maybe she's just thinking about it in her head. So another example could be if you want to go get lunch and you're not sure what kind of food you want to eat, then I might say something like, she debated whether to get Italian food or Chinese food for lunch. So you're just thinking carefully about which choice you will make. The example for debate as a verb says, what issue would you like to debate? So just remember, debate can be a discussion between two or more people where they're talking about the positives and the negatives of doing something, or it can just be in your own mind when you're thinking about what you want to do. You're trying to think carefully about a choice. Our next word is exhibit. Exhibit can be used as a verb, and it means to show clearly, to put on display. For example, you exhibit great talent in gymnastics. Just like in this picture here, I can say she exhibits great talent or she shows great talent. So you can exhibit a skill. Another example would be here in this picture. I could say something like, she exhibited great courage during the emergency. So she showed great courage when the fire grew by getting the extinguisher and quickly putting out the fire. So she's exhibiting courage. So you can show a skill or an emotion. And we can also use exhibit as a noun. Now it means something shown to the public. So you're showing something so that other people can see it. And a similar word might be display. You're putting something on display. The example says, we went to the diamond exhibit at the Science Museum. So a museum is a place where you will often see many different kinds of exhibits. For example, here is a dinosaur exhibit. So I could say, the museum will exhibit dinosaur fossils next month. Or in this picture here, the artist will exhibit her paintings at the local library. So they are showing these things to the public so that people can come and see them. So you might find exhibits in a museum, in a library. Another place could be an aquarium or a zoo. So I could say my favorite exhibit at the aquarium was the jellyfish tank. So again, you can exhibit something like a skill or bravery, courage, patience, or an exhibit can actually be something that people come to see, like a dinosaur exhibit or an art exhibit. Our next word is foe. Foe is a noun, and a foe is one who hates or tries to harm another, an enemy. So a foe is just an enemy or someone who wants to hurt or defeat another person. It's a more formal word than just saying enemy, and we often use this word foe in stories, in history books, or just in older books. So it is an older word that's not really used often in everyday conversation anymore, but you might see it used in books, so it's good to know this word. The example says, identify yourself. Are you friend or foe? So this is a common phrase that people might see in books. Friend or foe. Is someone your friend or is someone your enemy? To use this word in a sentence, I could say something like, in the game, you must protect your castle from your foes. Or I could say, the two kingdoms were once foes, but later became friends. You might often see this word used in older comic books, like in Batman, for example. I could say Batman's foes are always trying to stop him. So his enemies are always trying to stop him. And cats and dogs are often considered foes. Even though that may not always be true, people think about them as enemies. So I can say they are foes. So again, just remember, a foe is basically an enemy, and this is an older word that's not used very often in normal conversation anymore. Our next word is ladder. Ladder. And ladder has more of a D sound here where the two T's are. Ladder is an adjective and it means closer to the end, relating to the second of two things discussed. For example, the first part of the book is better than the latter part. So when we use this word latter, it means the second thing that you talked about or the later part of something. So we need to be careful to not confuse this word with later. Of course, later we're talking about the time. For example, I think I'll cook dinner later. So we're saying we're going to do something later on in time, not right now, but later. Compared to latter, for example, I love the latter part of the movie. So if someone was watching a movie and they want to say that they liked the part of the movie that was closer to the end, then we can call that part the latter part of the movie. Some other examples could be something like, we can go to the beach or the zoo. I would choose the latter. So if my options are A, the beach, that's the one that I said first, and option B, zoo, that's the one that I said second, then the one that I said second is the zoo, so it is the latter. It's the second one. Or another example could be, we studied whales and dolphins. So I said whales first and I said dolphins second. So here is dolphins. And then I can say the latter are known for being very intelligent. So we studied whales and dolphins. The latter are known for being very intelligent. That means I'm talking about dolphins. I'm talking about the second thing that I mentioned in my paragraph or in my sentences. Another example could be, the first chapter was exciting, but the latter chapters were even better. So if you're reading a book, the later part of the book or the second part of the book closer to the end was more exciting. It is the latter chapters. And finally, one more example, you can write your report by hand or type it. So those are your options. Writing it by hand is A, and typing it is B. I can say, I think the latter is easier. So writing by hand was first, typing it was second. I think the latter is easier. That means I think typing it is easier. So just remember, whenever you want to use this word latter, it means you're talking about the thing closer to the end or the second thing that you mentioned. Our next word is massacre. And massacre can be used as a noun or a verb. And a massacre is the cruel killing of many people or animals. It also means to kill many people or animals in a cruel way. So the meaning does not change whether it's a noun or a verb. The only thing that changes is how we are using it, as a noun or as an action that someone is doing. So again, massacre is when people kill other people or animals in a very unkind, terrible way. The example here says, the village was the site of a bloody massacre. So there might have been a village where many people were killed. So it was the site or the place where a massacre happened. The other example says, the barbarians planned to massacre their rivals. So their rivals is like someone's enemy. So there were a people and they planned to massacre or to kill their enemies. So of course, this word massacre is talking about something that is terrible, something awful that happens. Massacres often happen during war or when two people might be fighting. So it's not a good thing at all. And often people will build a memorial to remember the people who died in massacres. So massacres are never seen as a positive thing. They are always a negative thing. The people during the war might not think about it being a negative thing in that moment, but always later on in history, they end up being seen or thought about as a very bad thing. So massacres are things that we should try to avoid because people do not deserve to be killed in a cruel way, and animals also do not deserve that. Another example could be, the hunters did not want to massacre the herd and only took what they needed. So there was a herd of animals here, and these hunters did not want to kill them all. They did not want to massacre them. So they only took what they needed to survive. So that would be a way we can use this word massacre more in a positive way. They did not want to massacre, they only took what they needed. Our next word is monotonous. Monotonous can be a difficult word to pronounce, so let's look at the pronunciation a little bit closely first. I can cut this word up into 4 different sounds here. So the first part, I can say it as m. The second part is where we put our stress. So we're really wanting to emphasize this sound here. Na, monotonous. Monotonous. So this word monotonous is an adjective and it means dull as a result of not changing in any way. So when something is monotonous, it's boring because it stays the same over and over and over again. There's no change, there's no excitement, so we can describe it as being monotonous. The example sentence says, shelling peas is a monotonous chore. And this sentence is talking about something like this, where you have peas and you need to open them and get the insides out of the peas. So that is very boring because you just keep doing the same thing over and over again for hours. So we can describe it as being monotonous. Some other examples could be something like folding hundreds of paper, for example. So I can say, folding hundreds of paper became a monotonous job. Or I can say, his speech became monotonous because he spoke the same way the whole time. So if someone speaks like a robot when they're giving a speech, that can quickly become monotonous and everyone might get bored from that speech. Or another thing that can be monotonous might be a car drive. I can say the long drive was monotonous because the scenery never changed. So maybe they were just driving through some woods or the forest the entire drive, so it became monotonous. Our next word is preserve. Preserve can be used as a verb or as a noun. As a verb, it means to keep safe from injury or ruin, to keep food from spoiling. The example says, I signed a petition to preserve the wetlands. So when we preserve something, we want to protect it. We want to keep it in good condition. So something like protecting a wetland or protecting a forest, we could use this word preserve to describe that action. So I could say, we should preserve forests for future generations. So we should not cut the forests down. We need to keep them safe. So I can use this word preserve to talk about that action of keeping them safe. Another example would be something like an old painting. I can say, the museum works to preserve old paintings. They want to keep them safe. They want to make sure that the old paintings don't get ruined. So we can use this word preserve to talk about that action of keeping it safe. And we often use this word too when we're talking about food. For example, freezing vegetables helps preserve them for a longer time. If you have your vegetables just in the refrigerator, then they might spoil very quickly. If you want to preserve them or keep them safe, it's better to put them in the freezer. And preserve can also be used as a noun, and it is an area set aside for the protection of wildlife. So a preserve is just a protected area. Plants and animals can live safely in this area without having to worry about hunters hunting them or people cutting down forests and building new buildings and houses in that area, because the preserve is only for the animals and plants. It's only for nature. So people are not allowed to come in and just do whatever they want there. The example says, wild animals roam freely in the nature preserve. And usually hunting is not allowed in the nature preserves, so you'll see signs like this that say no hunting, wildlife preserve. And wildlife preserves are a great way to allow animals to still live in the wild and be wild, but protect animals who might be endangered. Our next word is sanitary. Sanitary is an adjective, and it is having to do with health, free of dirt and germs. For example, in a factory, the areas that produce computer parts must remain completely sanitary. So when something is sanitary, it is clean. There's no dirt or germs on that. And sanitary places help keep people healthy and prevent the spread of disease. So we'll often use this word sanitary when we're talking about hospitals, doctors' offices, and also restaurants. So I can say, doctors wash their hands to keep the hospital sanitary. Or wearing gloves helps keep the work area sanitary, because when you're wearing gloves, you're not spreading the germs on your hands wherever you are working. So scientists will often wear gloves when they're doing experiments. I could also say restaurant workers must keep the kitchen sanitary. The kitchen in a restaurant must be very clean to make sure there's no bugs or germs or other things going in people's food. Lastly, I could say the food was prepared in a sanitary environment. So I can say the place where the food was made was very clean. People were wearing gloves and masks and hairnets. So there's no chance or very little chance of any germs spreading into the food. You can use the word sanitary to talk about anything that is clean and free of dirt and germs, not just in relation to doctors, hospitals, and restaurants, but these are the most common examples, so that's why I was talking about these. Our next word is sprawl. Sprawl is a verb and it means to lie or sit with arms and legs spread out, to spread out in a disorderly way. For example, some nights I sprawl in front of the TV set. So when you sprawl, You sit or you lie down, your arms and your legs are usually spread out, or you're sitting in a very relaxed way. You're not sitting upright and nicely like you would in your chair at school, for example. So here's some examples of places or situations where people might sprawl. Just like in the example, when someone is watching TV on their couch or sofa, they might sprawl out on the sofa in a very relaxed and comfortable way. Or here, this dog is sprawled out in front of the fireplace. Maybe he really likes the warmth and it's currently winter, so he's sprawled across the floor in front of the fireplace. I can also say the children sprawled on the grass to watch the clouds. So they just lay down. Your arms and legs don't always have to be spread out, but you're just sitting in a very comfortable way and usually laying down over that place where you're sitting at. And usually people sprawl on their sofas or on the floor or on the grass, maybe on the sand at the beach. All of those are common places where you might see someone sprawl. Our next word is widespread. Widespread is an adjective and it means happening in many places or to many people, fully open. So when something is widespread, it's happening in many places or affecting many people at the same time. For example, interest in the lives of movie stars is widespread. So here we're saying that many people are interested in the lives of a movie star or maybe a singer. They want to know more about that movie star or more about that singer. So the interest is the thing that is widespread. Many people have that interest. I could also say something like, there was widespread excitement before the championship game. So maybe there was a soccer game and there was widespread excitement, meaning that many people were excited about this game. Not just a few people and not just in one area. It was widespread, so that means it was happening in many places at the same time. I could also say that scientists are working to stop the widespread spread of the disease. So if there's a disease that's going on and that disease has happened in many different places all over the world, then I can say it is widespread. And scientists want to stop the widespread spread of disease. And I could also say something like, the storm caused widespread flooding across the state. So you can see in this picture here, the flooding is not just happening in one small area, it's affecting the entire place. So many people are affected by it at the same time. So then I can use this adjective widespread to describe that. There was widespread flooding. So remember, we are using widespread as an adjective, so it's talking about a noun. There can be widespread excitement, widespread disease, widespread flooding. And that's all for this video. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time. Bye!